Roll the tape for this featherweight fight. Unbeaten Money Mendes, 26 years old, as is his opponent, Rani Yahya, who will have a 2-inch reach advantage. Here is Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Keith Peterson.
Keith Peterson, our referee. The beautiful Ariani.
Sir, are you ready? Sir, are you ready?
Rani Yahya, Chad Mendes, here we go! White trunks for Chad Money Mendes. 10-0 in his MMA career. Rani Yahya, unbeaten. Inside the octagon, he defeated former champion Mike Brown back at Fight for the Troops earlier this year.
And Yahya, make no mistake about it, absolutely wants this fight to go to the ground, whereas Chad Mendes said in the pre-fight he would like to keep this fight up and try to knock out Rani Yahya. Now, Chad has had experience against very high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts in the past, and more recently fought Javi Vasquez, who is an incredibly talented Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist, and it definitely will help him in that experience to prepare for Yahya. He was able to keep Javi from executing any techniques on him to put him in danger, and most of the time controlled the fight and controlled the takedowns.
Mendes said of Rani Yahya, he is probably the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner in our division, but he feels he lacks stand-up. Thus going back to the game plan that you talked about, Joe.
He most certainly does. He is really a specialist. Yahya is a very, very technical Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, and there you see that inside leg kick, which certainly went awry.
You good?
There's a company, and they've invented a compression short that holds the cup in place, and it can prevent a lot of this stuff.
Okay, keep it clean.
A lot of it is just that the cup moves around the jock strap and it doesn't stay tight enough to the groin. And then, of course, there's the tie cup, the steel tie cup, which is tied in place.
Old school style.
Old school, which is very effective, but a lot of people feel it's uncomfortable. Yahya obviously really trying hard to close that distance. One of the things he showed in the Mike Brown fight, Mike, is improvement in his wrestling. And that's something he's definitely going to need to keep working on if he wants to take the fights to the ground. Because quite honestly, his stand-up is rudimentary at best. It's really, he's got that sort of Hips and Gracie style where his stand-up is really only there in order to get the clinch and to get you to the ground.
Inside leg kick attempt by Mendes. Longtime training partner of former champion Uriah Faber. And many have said Chad Mendes is Uriah Faber 2.0. One of those guys is Uriah Faber. He really, really likes the company of his teammate and believes that he will be a champion in the future.
Well, that whole alpha male team that they've got up there in Sacramento is a really spectacular training camp. Nice inside kick and punch by Mendes. And all of them are solid wrestlers. And, you know, that wrestling base is what I've always said is the bottom of the pyramid, the most important aspect of mixed martial arts, because the wrestler is the one who can dictate where the fight takes place. And that is exactly what we see so far in this fight, where Mendes is utilizing his wrestling to make sure this fight stands up. And Yahya is forced to try to close the distance, and he's eating punches and kicks in the meantime.
Mendes, a two-time Pac-10 wrestling champion, two-time Division I All-American. Uriah and Chad Mendes, Joseph Benavides. And there's a difference, too, when you get into these big battles between grappling cardio and stand-up cardio. And that's why you see Mendes and Faber and that whole team, Alpha Male, always in tremendous condition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of guys who are great grapplers, and you have them hit the pads for 3 minutes, and they're exhausted. It's a lot of it is about efficiency, and Rani Yahya is not that efficient with his stand-up. It's awkward, and you know he's rudimentary, but his jiu-jitsu is off the chain, and if he gets you to the ground, he could submit you very, very quickly. He's not a physically imposing looking guy, but he can squeeze your neck like no other.
A lot of it is just with the stand-up game, getting comfortable in knowing that everything doesn't have to be the fastball. You can mix things up, and you don't tense up when you throw the punches and drain your cardio.
Well, and it's also completely alien to grappling.
Right.
The moves are all explosive. It's all snapping things out, lunging forward and backward. It's just so different than the techniques you would use in a technical game of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is what Rani grew up doing. Like, you know, you see when he throws his kicks, it's like a white belt throwing, right? You know, I mean, you're not going to hit a guy who's like a very skilled striker.
Final minute of the round.
There's a takedown, but notice he threw him down.
Yes.
And had no intentions of following him.
No reason to jump right into the fire. Nice shot to the body.
He really turned that over well.
Rani Yahya defeated Mike Brown in his UFC debut, a fight in which Brown took on short notice. He has fought at 55, 45, dropped to 135 in 07 for a title shot in the WEC against Chase Beebe.
Flying knee.
Final seconds of round one.
And so far in the first round, Mendes has been able to impose his game and keep this fight on the feet, where he has a clear advantage.
Feeling. Beautiful. Hey, we just need more work.
And here's the takedown, and notice how he just throws him down, which is so unlike Mendes, but it just shows you, and there's a nice left hook to the body, it shows you how much respect he has for the ground game
beautiful. I want you to open
of
up
Yahya.
More. Look at his shots, look at his takedowns. Look, I don't want him getting away with that sloppy kick, you know what I mean? If he throws that whack kick, come in hard with your right low kick. Okay. You know what I mean? Come in hard with your right. The flutter jab, straight right, beautiful. Set your up kick up a little better. You know what I mean? It's there. It's there for sure. You're doing great. I want more activity. I want you to open up. Less respect for this.
Good
guy,
advice from the Alaskan Justin
Buck.
Buchholz, UFC veteran, longtime member of Team Alpha Male.
Back up.
Round two.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Fight.
Here we go. Yahya has trained lots in striking, but as Joe's talked about many times, you know, to become very proficient in that takes a long time. Big takedown by Mendes, and look at how tight Mendes stays on the body of Rani Yahya.
Yeah, and he has to do this, and he's got to be very careful here. He's playing a dangerous game here. Yahya is a constrictor. He's one of those guys that if he can get control of you, and he lost it. You know, he just gave a little bit of space there.
Stayed smothered to not allow Yahya to try to set up any type of submission. Yahya even utilized some open hand strikes.
Well, a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artists, when it comes to MMA, they have this one flaw in their game when it goes to the ground where they expect that the other guy is going to grapple with them, and so they leave space. What they have to think of is if you want to keep this fight grappling, you got to clinch a hold of that guy like you're stuck to him and give him no air. But in a pure grappling match, which is what Yahya did most of his life, you have that freedom. And so there's old habits that really become deficits in an MMA competition. And you saw that. Yahya had the ground game going. He had a grip on him, and he let it go.
Three-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion, 2007 Abu Dhabi World Champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Pushing forward is Yahya. 16 wins in his MMA career. Over the top, Money Mendes. Mendes was hopeful at one point that tonight he would be fighting for the title against Jose Aldo.
And again, a takedown. Now, Yahya, he knows that he made a mistake the first time he got him to the ground.
No, to the kidney, to the legs.
He's got to hold on to him here. And he's not. He really doesn't have a good grip on Mendes. It's up to Mendes whether or not this fight stays in the ground. And this is a position that Mendes found himself in over and over again with Javi Vasquez. But he was able to defend And right now, like, Mendes can get out anytime he wants. And Yahya, that is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu history. That's what it is. It's just, he's got so much time in just regular straight grappling. He expects Mendes to grapple him.
Oh, nice left by
that was
Rani Yahya.
Nice left hook by Yahya.
Although not cleared in time for Mendes to fight him for the title. But Chad Mendes, very much like Chuck Liddell in his day, said, I'm not going to wait for anybody. I will fight, continue to win. I'll get my shot when it comes in time, and I will earn my shot. And when I do, I'll put the belts around my waist. And UFC President Dana White loves those type of attitudes.
Well, it's also very important at this stage of Chad's career for him to get experience.
Yes.
You know, he doesn't really have that much time in MMA. He's so talented, he's got so much promise, but there's a nice straight right hand. But he really needs the octagon experience.
So tonight he fights fellow WEC veteran Rani Yahya. Another connection. 90 seconds on the clock here in the second round. Oh, just missed with that uppercut.
And Yahya is still looking to try to solve the riddle. And it seems that he has resigned himself to swinging wild haymakers as Mendes gets close. And if he can get one of those to land and stagger Mendes for a second, then he's going to try to shoot for the clinch.
A pro since 2008. And Mendes knows, as you said, in tonight's fight, no reason really to take it to the ground, but oftentimes that wrestling instinct just takes over. You see the opening and you just shoot for it.
Well, as long as he keeps Yahya on his back, he seems to be able to defend himself. Because, again, Yahya lets him go, you know? And now Mendes got the clinch again. Yahya defends it, lands a left hook.
Final 30 on the clock. Second round, featherweight battle. Rani Yahya, Chad Money Mendes, 10-0. Tried to slip and rip there. Ten seconds. Round two complete.
Have a seat.
And there we see Chad ducks under these punches, gets the takedown. And here Rani lands a very nice left hand. It was sort of like almost like a palm strike. Didn't quite turn the knuckles over. And there's a right hand from Mendes.
Blasted. Okay. I want big left hook, slapping left hook, straight rights. 1-2s right down the pipe. Jab the head, jab the body. A lot of forward. I want you to come out and put it on him right from the bell. All right? Okay. 5 minutes.
It's beautiful. Keeping that head in there, beautiful. Did you see?
He's got nothing for you grappling. You want to take him down and beat his ass standing up? Standing over him? Let's go, Chad. 5 minutes.
Chrissy Hubbard, our guest octagon girl tonight.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Fight.
Third round. Buchholz really wants his teammate Chad Mendes to continue to be the aggressor, to get to the spots first, to set the pace, and another takedown.
I found it interesting that Buchholz said if you want to take him down and beat him up, he's got nothing for you on the ground. That's a very dangerous attitude.
It's a good way to get yourself submitted,
yeah,
right?
Yahya is keeping that overhook on the right arm of Chad Mendes. He's got to keep it very, very tight. And what he wants to make sure here is that the fight stays on the ground. He doesn't want Mendes to be able to just get up at his discretion. And the way to keep it on the ground is he's got to stay tight to him and clinch him and control the back of his head.
And again, Joe, on his back, he's throwing open hand strikes. He's not throwing punches as Yahya.
Right, he's just trying to open things up. But right now, you know, quite honestly, he's not really holding on to Mendes. Mendes, if he so chooses, can get up. Look how loose the guard is. It's open. Now he's at least got a hold of the neck. He's got an arm pinning the neck down. and that left arm of Mendes could be in jeopardy. The way he's doing that and extending his arm, that's tricky.
Mendes restricting the breathing of Rani Yahya a moment ago with his left hand.
See, like right here, Yahya. All right, now Yahya at least has a leg over him to keep him from backing out, but now he doesn't. Now it's a wide open guard. All Mendes has to do is just push him away. Nice elbow.
Mendes very, very strong, very powerful.
Well, this is the position that he found himself in with Javi Vasquez on several occasions, where he was able to stifle him off of his back and hold him in his guard and land shots.
Again with a quick elbow.
For Yanni, this has got to be really, really annoying to him, because he finally got the fight down to the ground.
Nice.
He's getting beat up, though. He's got to figure out a way to sneak his hips out. Notice how he's doing that? And he's trying to turn and perhaps go for an omoplata, locking that left arm in place by Mendes, but he doesn't really have it.
Mendes with some big shots to the midsection.
He needs Mendes' arm closer to his body to pull that off.
Just the strength and power of Mendes making it very difficult for Rani Yahya to set anything up.
Yeah, Hani tried to switch it to the left side, but again, it's only because Mendes is choosing to grapple with him.
Looks up at the clock. 10-0 Chad Mendes. 2:15 remains in this battle.
And again, Mendes with the takedown, and Yanni almost caught a guillotine choke there. And now Mendes' left arm is in a situation here. If Hani can get that left leg, or excuse me, his right leg up and across the face of Mendes, and he's trying to set him up for a guillotine as well.
His arm is free and the elbow's thrown.
But Mendes is so comfortable here, he's very confident that Hani's not going to be able to do anything to him.
Competing since age 5, met Uriah Faber in high school, worked some wrestling camps with him during their college summers, and now longtime teammates at Team Alpha Male in Sacramento, California.
And again, he tries for that omoplata, a little lacking in the flexibility by Hani.
Big elbow again by Mendes. Trying to remain unbeaten and keep himself in prime position for a shot at the UFC Featherweight Championship.
Yeah, and what this is you know, Hani just does not have that kind of Charles Oliveira guard. You know, Hani's a monster if he gets your back. He's a monster if he gets on top. But he really wasn't able to do anything from that straight guard position to Chad Mendes.
Oh, front kick by Mendes. .45 now. Counter left by Yahya. Oh my!
Oh!
And Mendes ducks under.
And Yahya will throw himself into the fire to try to take this fight to the ground. And that's exactly what he did in the Mark Hominick fight. When he fought Mark Hominick, he got tagged and dropped over and over again, but managed to eventually get a hold of Hominick, transition to his back, and put him to sleep. Excuse me, get the tap, almost put him to sleep. But what was interesting about it was when he was interviewed after the fight was over, he had no idea what happened. He had no idea. He literally choked out Mark Hominick. Whoa, look at that flip.
Mendes, pure power. A huge difference here tonight.
What I was going to say is he tapped out Mark Hominick on reflexes alone. And look at this crazy flip by Chad Mendes. That's the kind of thing you do when you know you're winning.
Yep. It was all about takedowns, though. When he wanted to, he took him down, and then he got back up.
Yes, it was all about him doing what he wants to do. You know, I mean, I've always said that the wrestling is the bottom of the pyramid, the most important aspect of mixed martial arts, because it allows a fighter to control where the fight takes place. And this is what we see over and over and over again with Chad Mendes, superior wrestling. And unfortunately for Hani, he was just not able to get anything going off of his back. Looks like Chad hurt his hand.
Good job, Chad. Every round.
Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Chad Money Mendes.
Money is 11-0. And he'll visit with Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Chad Money Mendes. Chad, first of all, congratulations. It looks like you might have hurt your hand there. What happened?
Yeah, I think it was in the beginning of the second. I hit him, and I felt it pop a little bit, so I don't know if it's broken. It's hard getting in there fighting when you hear that kind of stuff and you can't squeeze.
Well, in the first round, you were taking him down, you were throwing him to the ground, and then you were stepping out. But it seemed after a while you got more and more comfortable with being on the ground with him, and then you were taking him to the ground and standing on top of him. What was the game plan going in there? Was it to throw him down and walk away, or was it to stay on top and pound on him?
Yeah, I mean, first off, we wanted to get in there because you never really know what somebody's going to feel like till you're in there with them. So we wanted to kind of fill it out that first round. You know, try and pick them apart a little bit on the feet, get them thinking about that, and then take them down. So
once you got him on the ground, you just felt comfortable enough with defending?
Yeah, I mean, I basically knew that I could stay solid enough to throw some elbows and do just enough to.
Well, congratulations on another victory over a tough guy, and can't wait to see you again. Chad Mendes, ladies and gentlemen.